Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. And I forgot to put the music in. If you're in the audio realm, you heard it because, Larson, you got to put the audio in.
I always do.
But if you're watching us on the YouTube, of course, live on the Twitch, what's up? How's it going, everybody? Sorry you didn't hear the great audio. But on this episode of Going in Raw, anyways, we're going to talk about all things last night, Monday Night Raw. Last night's Monday Night Raw, that is, with Seth frickin' Rollins now apparently entering the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what that means for a potential World Heavyweight Championship run. We're going to talk about that as well. Want to say this real quick. We got a couple of super chats already in the waiting room here at Going in Raw. We'll get to those in just a little bit. Larson, where do you want to start with what we're doing today?
Because this is great news for Seth Rollins. He is apparently in the MCU. That's massive. So, images stars showing up today, I believe, online. Seth on the set of Captain America, new World Order. Although I have it here, Captain American, New World Order.
Captain American, so New like Whale Inc.
Yeah, that's like the Wish.com sci-fi network movie.
Right, exactly.
Based on the similar characters. Anyways, but with Seth now a cast member of the MCU, well, that lesson of chances of being crowned World Heavyweight Champion. Worked Wrestling tweeted out, quote, Seth Rollins' Raw segment last night was pre-taped due to filming Marvel's Captain America. Not Captain American.
It's like one of those asylum movies, you know? They take, it's like Transformers and they turn into something else, and somehow they get like a budget and they can actually do like
exactly
stuff.
Exactly. Worked Wrestling continues. While many backstage are very happy for him, there is hesitancy when it comes to putting the new title on him should these roles continue. So, first things first.
Yeah.
Great news for Seth.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
You know, he's been wrestling for a long time.
Wasn't Becky supposed to be in the MCU at some point?
I thought so, too.
Or was that like a Maggie? You know all things, Becky Lynch.
Or was that just something like that she was trying to? I thought she was like in a post-credit thing.
Was it a rumor? Oh, was it in a post-credit and then just got deleted or something?
Maybe.
Somebody help us out with that one.
I don't know. Anyways, you can't be taking bumps all your life, you know?
Oh, no, of course you can't.
Like the idea of wrestlers taking bumps in their 50s or 60s because they need the paycheck.
Right, yeah.
Tough to see because wrestling is hard on the body.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a completely different landscape these days. Like, I think the goal is to do the Cena thing obviously The Rock sort of pioneered it after Hogan wanted to pioneer it, but The Rock really completely and totally perfected jumping from wrestling. But these days, given that, the digital media landscape has changed so much, it's a lot less of a concern for people to be typecast as you're just wrestler. Now audiences will completely and totally buy into, crossover stars from all sorts of walks of life. And there's no reason why Seth Rollins can't make that jump as well. And he absolutely should try to maximize his opportunities. What do you make of, we always sort of say, no matter how accurate some of these anonymous wrestling news Twitter accounts can be, sometimes they're more or less accurate.
You know what? It'd be funny if someone, I know we have a Jack Napier here as a patron, if someone was a wrestling news site. It's just so you can hear anonymous tip.
Anonymous tip. Rollins is yeah. So what do you make of any hesitancy? So, because I don't know, I kind of feel.
After watching the sit-down interview this last night and the one I'm sure is going to happen next week, the second half of it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they could telegraph anymore that Seth's winning this match. They're pretty much going through the retrospective of his entire WWE career.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it's all going to lead up to him winning that title. I mean, that's right. It's so obvious at this point. I mean, if it's a situation where Seth is getting roll after roll after roll, which isn't going to happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
He'll be in Captain America, New World Order. We'll see how he does. If he impresses with his acting chops, with his acting skills, he'll get more roles.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, he could have been out reading for roles in LA when WrestleMania was there. Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude's got tons of charisma. And it's interesting in the sit down with Corey last night. they intercut a lot of clips throughout his career, and it's interesting seeing his evolution, his growth as a talker from the NXT days.
Oh man, yeah.
To what he can do now. It's almost like a 180.
I'm Seth Rollins, and I'm the future of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then now
with
he's
such
great.
conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's winning at Night of Champions. No doubt about that.
Yeah,
None.
I have no doubt in my mind.
Most confidence points, maybe.
This whole endeavor was made for him. So, and you never know. Like, look, obviously, there's a lot of people backstage at WWE. There's plenty of producers and management, et cetera, et cetera. So, I really doubt anybody in any sort of position to do anything about it would have any hesitancy. I just don't. I mean, I just think if there was any legitimate hesitancy on them to put that title on him, they just probably wouldn't. Like, they wouldn't be going the route they're going right now, or they would have had Edge come out of the other side of the tournament in case they felt it was like, a possibility. They're not going to ship the entire OC over to Monday Night Raw. That's not going to happen. And there's a million other better options than AJ. Look, I love AJ Styles. I think he is as phenomenal as his catchphrase is. But the Edge story is way better. There's any number of people that they could have done that they had drafted to Raw. I don't see it's entirely possible that Worked Wrestling, has their sources, but like, I don't think it's any source. It's any position of power. And it's,
it's a situation, I think, where it's Seth will win at Night of Champions, but I guess it makes sense if he's going to be taking on more acting work in the future and is going to be off WWE more often in the future.
Yeah.
The chance of him winning more titles in the future might go down as opposed to his chances winning at Night of Champions.
Dude, I don't want to see Seth have this title for a year anyways. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, God, how boring would that be? I mean,
I know.
if you want to use Seth in a proper way, and if you want this to be, something that's diametrically opposed to Roman, is have this be the title that people can actually fight fair and square over,
Yeah.
It's like, if Seth Rollins is on par with Roman, then maybe Edge can beat Seth Rollins without, we've seen him do that before, but without, and Seth doesn't have a bunch of interference getting in the way, then hey, Edge might, I know he's on a different brand, but he can cross over because, that's going to happen. But like, like Drew McIntyre as well. He could have beat Roman, was it not for Solo Sikoa. And then Seth can get it back. Like, show us that this title can be a dynamic one.
Yeah.
Show us what we don't get because of the bloodline. And then Seth, when it comes to him versus Roman down the line, he can make that case. I've won and lost this title to all the opponents that you've screwed over, but in the end, I always come out on top. And that's why, you're nothing special, dude. You need your guys to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as there being any sort of hesitancy, if there was any hesitancy, why would they put the title on him? Because clearly they're going to do that.
I know. Yeah, I don't think there's any immediate hesitancy. I think, if it's a situation where they see he's entering the world of professional acting, if he's getting into the Hollywood thing, in the future there might be hesitancy, but immediately, no hesitancy. No.
Yeah, none. Zero.
No, zero hesitancy. You basically created a title for him. What it feels like now.
They did. Come on, they did. A couple super chats here. First from Mason says, "Is Cody really the one we should expect to beat Roman?
Yeah,
name somebody else."
I said that the day he lost WrestleMania, he's still going to beat Roman, and I stand by that.
I think that here's the thing. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. So I kind of feel like it. Now, is that going to happen at WrestleMania? I think that they're building him back up. To be the guy. But I think that also they probably want to keep their options open in case somebody else catches fire. But yeah, at this point, I totally see it being Cody. I think Seth is another option to beat Roman as well. But I think right now it looks like they're thinking we're gonna get Cody back up there, and he's gonna be the guy. Joel says, "Do you think this whole Seth Rollins and the MCU thing is being blown out of proportion? Rollins doesn't seem like that type of guy to leave wrestling." Like you said, man, keeping your options open is something that he would be silly not to do. And if there's interest from Kevin Feige, I think his name is, to bring in, the revolutionary, the visionary, to the MCU, then as Snake Man or whatever he's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what member of Serpent, because the rumor was that it's Serpent Society. I don't know if that's been confirmed, that is going to be the villains, if you will, of Captain America New World Order.
Yeah, I hope that he's like the dude in, was it Dreamscape?
Oh, yeah, Snake Man, yeah.
That was terrifying. That guy was.
That really was.
Man.
I remember that, yeah, as a kid. Whoa,
when
wow.
I was a kid, there were like, every movie had iconic villains back then. To me, it was like Biff Tannen, Darth Vader. But then on the download, because like we watched Dreamscape at home a couple times, it was like one of the few movies that we like. Snake Man, yeah. And in my head canon, that dude would wipe the floor with Darth Vader or Biff Tannen.
Oh man, definitely Biff Tannen, no question about that.
Biff Tannen was actually kind of an easy target, yeah.
Yeah, Biff Tannen is but human.
He is but human, and he's not like the smartest guy in the world.
No, he's not. He's not. Yeah. And I even doubt his brawn is all that impressive.
His driving skills are dog shit because he went into that cow manure.
Yeah.
It was so gross. He had like cow manure in his mouth. Eastside Reviews here has re-upped his YouTube membership, and he says here in his little clever chat, he says, Captain American, the Autumn Officer. Get it? Instead of the Winter Soldier, you got the Autumn Officer.
There we go. That's what it is.
Stuff. That's good stuff. Well, it's good stuff. Ricardo also says, with Super Chat, says, build Seth like Triple H did EO in NXT, 16 defenses in a short span, but meaningful defenses. Yeah, but then have him lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he gets burnt out because he's defending it too often. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about last night's Raw. So what do you make of this? Paul Heyman, the master manipulator with his red phone.
I'm sure it's at the behest of Roman Reigns as well.
Oh, yeah, but Paul Heyman's the one. Come on, he's the scheming guy, man. This guy's been scheming and manipulating since the ECW days and before that even. When he was Paul, he showed up with one of the little territory wrestling videos I watched. I think it was, God, where was it? It was Memphis. It was Memphis. When he showed up, it was like the first year he showed up as a character. The what's his face? Lance, what's his face? Was saying,
Lance Russell.
Lance Russell was calling him Paul Dangerly. But then in the promos, he was referring to himself as Paulie Dangerously. So Lance just didn't get the fucking memo.
No, I wonder if Paul Heyman was a fan of the movie Johnny Dangerously, and
that's where he got it from. Because people told him that he looked like it was Michael Keaton, right?
Michael Keaton, yeah.
Yeah, people told him he looked like Michael Keaton.
All right, so
that's confirmed, man. But yeah, no, whether it's Heyman, Roman, whomever, oh boy, he has got everybody gunning after the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn problem, and now he's roped Imperium into this. What do you make of that?
I think it speaks to Roman's lack of trust in his cousins, the Usos, to do anything. And I don't know. I mean, obviously Heyman got the visitor's pass to show up on Raw. I don't know how many of those are offered to SmackDown talents to show up on Raw. So maybe this is a sign that the brand split for wrestlers is going to be fairly firm, at least in this instance.
Yeah.
And so they have to essentially contract out the heavy work to Judgment Day and Imperium to soften up Owens and Zayn to make them easier to beat for Roman and Solo at Night of Champions.
That's a good point. No Solo last night. Obviously, I don't think Roman's sending the Usos to do anything these days, so I'm not sure we would have seen them. Although maybe sometimes they take the initiative on their own. That's a good point, though. So far, hard brand split. Love to see that. But yeah, Heyman, Heyman, I just feel he can go wherever he wants, whenever he wants. And I like them using people on Raw to take care of the dirty work. Judgment Day already, hey, we want a piece of that tag title action when you're done, but we also want to fight right now. Their chemistry's never been better. I like the mini feud that Dom is in seemingly with Xavier Woods right now. I think that's, fleshing out him a little bit. Crowd still gives him a huge reaction. Chorus of boos. But yeah, I'm really curious to see, and granted they're on different brands and everything. I'd love to see some interaction between Roman and Gunther, a friendly handshake or whatever. Because what do you think Gunther's opinion of Roman would be? You think he thinks Roman has respect for the mat?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, not at all. I feel like this is an opportunistic thing. Like in my mind, seeing Heyman go out and contract out, maybe you're asking for favors of Judgment Day and Imperium to soften up Owens and Zayn. This leads, in the grand scheme of things, leads to some immediate feud for Owens and Zayn after they beat Roman and Solo at Night of Champions, because the Usos cost Roman and Solo the tag titles. Then they could jump right into a feud with Judgment Day for the tag titles. They could jump right into another. I know they wrestled Imperium a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they did. It was last week.
They did. They could jump into a feud with Imperium, a proper, protracted feud with Imperium. I guess from the long view, that's how I kind of view this. This is a scheme hatched by Roman that at the end isn't going to work, because the Usos are going to cost them the titles at the brink of victory, and post Night of Champions, now Owens and Zayn have two feuds available to them right away.
Yeah, they're building up a couple different tag teams. He got into Cher last night also, just absolutely annihilating some jobbers. Kind of sad they had Sanga shave his chest.
Yeah.
That dude had a lot of hair in his chest.
I know. He's not chill anymore either.
Nah, man, I don't like the big shouting and the grunting and everything like that, man. But they beat the crap out of those dudes. Yeah, they really beat the living crap out of them. So yeah, I thought that was good stuff. You're right. I don't think it's going to be much deeper than that. That being said, I do love when they're just roping in. I mean, talk about stacking the odds against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, is that Paul Heyman's manipulation is just raining down threat after threat after threat against these guys. And, they're just two dudes. I don't know. I hope they don't, because, next week they're supposed to take on all three members of Imperium. And they said, we'll find a partner. I hope it's not Riddle. I'm sort of tired.
It's going to be Riddle, because Riddle had that face off with Gunther during the Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
It's going to be Riddle.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that dude eats a lot of pins. He's probably going to need another pin next week, which Imperium really kind of needs.
Yeah,
they need to get a win there.
Which would further justify them feuding with Owens and Zayn after Night of Champions.
Yeah, yeah. Mayor Planet Houston here in Twitch chat brings up a good point. Into Share, they were chill after they won. Yeah, they're monsters in the ring, but then they centered themselves, man.
And then chill.
But and they had the camera work on it was really good too.
Yeah.
Like they did a thing. They had like talking. He got on the mic. He was pretty calmly saying "into share," blah blah blah, whatever he said.
Well, I know, but I always feel like just the timbre and with how Ginger talks, there's always a certain amount of intensity in what he says.
Well, he wasn't ranting and raving or anything like that.
Oh, I know. It wasn't like he was screaming at the top of the song, but at the same time, it wasn't like, "Hey, we're here, ready to hang out. Anybody want to grab a beer and back? You know where to find us."
So like the little egg grill thing, or the little, shell thing, Yeah. We got some meat back there, but make your way over there quick. Yeah. We got some lawn chairs.
Yeah.
Big screen set up to watch Raw if you guys want to chill with us. I get what you're saying. They were intense. They weren't like super chill. I get you. Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Chill. We got some beers, some chicken.
If I was told to shave my chest, I wouldn't be chill though. I wouldn't be chill. Well, of course I do. I'm getting paid. Yeah.
It'd be itchy, and that wouldn't make me chill at all.
Yeah, no. I'd be like, don't like that. Hey, Gunther, can you chop me, please? It might feel good.
I know. It might feel better than this persistent itch I have in my chest from shaving my chest hair.
Yeah, absolutely. What else happened last night on Raw?
Oh, while we're on the topic of Imperium and Gunther, Gunther's got his opponent for Night of Champions. It's Mustafa Ali.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a hell of a match, by the way.
It is. Mustafa won the Battle Royal to become number one contender for Intercontinental Champion in a pretty loaded Battle Royal, which saw the Raw debuts of JD, McDonough, and Von Wagner. Now, JD got set up with a feud out of this match against, surprise, Dolph.
He not only got a feud, which I know it's Dolph. That's going to be a good match. That video package they did was so well filmed.
It was really well done, I know.
Oh, my God, that was nice looking. It was really all in black and white, and they were doing the focus stuff. And just like, I don't know, it was beautiful. I was like, holy shit, they're really giving him a nice little piece of cinematography here. And then even like his little his very intense interview on the way out.
Yeah.
That dude, he really knows. He really understands what his character is at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I thought coming into NXT with the new name and, starting off with the American Psycho angle, sometimes you got to start at a place with like an idea and then you just let it take you where it lands you. And he's in a really good spot now. He's less focused on, on the anatomy stuff and just on understanding really what his character is, where he's coming from.
Definitely.
And on top of that, Finn Balor clearly is going to recruit him into Judgment Day.
Yep, looks that way. It's gonna be interesting if it's a situation where Finn recruits him, and I don't want to see Judgment Day split up by a stretch of the imagination, but it'd be interesting to see if they bring JD in, and kind of his MO is, I want this to be mine.
It's funny because Judgment Day, they've got such a great chemistry that is going to be interesting to see, because they like to laugh and clown around a lot while they're being sinister.
It's not JD's thing.
No, it's not.
No, he's very serious.
So it's going to be, he is very serious. So it's going to be interesting to see him juxtapose with them, all laughing and clowning. He's just sort of looking at them like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's interesting. It's interesting stuff.
Indeed. As for Von Wagner, he got eliminated during a commercial break. No story. No feud for him. He
was just in the Battle Royal. Didn't get a cool video package. They're still exploring, the baby giant scar on the head as a baby thing in NXT. Yeah. Maybe they're waiting for that story to play out, however it's going to play out. But we'll see that. And then Ronda Rousey showed up and fell down. They attacked Raquel Rodriguez. She's lucky she didn't bust her leg.
I know.
Could you imagine if she tried that shit? And then she says, Raquel Rodriguez, she beats Chelsea Green. She's back up on the ramp. She poses with her tag title. And Ronda Rousey just tries to do that kick in Street Fight, Mortal Kombat, where somebody's just sitting there go like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work in real life.
No, you slip when that happens. Yeah.
Right. And she slipped. But it was a pretty good recovery. She was able to recover and get her stuff out and do her thing. Yeah. So her and Shayna are back. Clearly, they're targeting the tag titles.
Oh, they'll win those tag titles.
They're going to get them. They're absolutely going to get them. But Ronda might be lucky that she didn't completely,
tear up a knee or an ankle.
Explode her entire leg right there.
Let's talk about this one more thing before we get to the breakdown. Cody accepted Brock Lesnar's challenge for Night of Champions, even though I thought he did last week. But so there's no ambiguity in it.
Yeah, right.
He's going to face Brock at Night of Champions for the title of top guy on Raw.
Yeah, that's what it is. He says, "You're in my way," and
the entitlement from the American Nightmare.
Well, the understanding that he is top guy. Look, when you have that level of confidence, then there can be haters out there that view it as entitlement, or there can be the enlightened that understand that it's deserved. He is top guy. He's got to lose the street fight though, right?
Oh yeah, he's got to get pummeled. This absolutely annihilated at Night of Champions. He's got to be pummeled, and he's got to be humbled a little bit.
On the other hand, what if he doesn't? What if he does the pummeling?
It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't. If he pummels Brock.
His thesis is, how did it feel? Dude who goes hunting all the time, looking in the mirror and seeing your beat-ass face and knowing that I did it.
All he's doing is
poking
arousing
the
ire. I know, of Brock Lesnar. Brock's going to rip him limb from limb, I swear.
Let's not forget, this is the guy who went 3-0 against Seth Rollins.
I know.
To kick off his WWE career.
And I understand Cody sees himself as the guy on Raw. That being said, he's not going to be the champion on Raw. So, at least in my estimation, whoever has that belt,
right,
number one.
Yeah, well, that's wrong, because here's the thing. Number one, that belt, consolation prize. Number two, Cody beat the guy who's clearly going to win it 3 times to 0. And number three,
that was like a year ago.
Number 3,
whole new phase of Seth Rollins now.
One of them was without a peck. And then number 3, he's already, dude. Here, this is the power of Cody Rhodes. You can fight it if you want. It's futile. Here's the power of Cody Rhodes. He's already above title on his own brand. He's already above the title on his own brand because he knows, as he said last week, let's face it, this was mine to lose. He's already above title, man, and you love.
Then put him in the celebrity phase of his career already. Then have him wrestle Logan Paul.
He's got to beat Roman Reigns first. Oh, I just dropped my Beyblade.
You dropped your what?
It was a Beyblade spinner thing.
Oh, yeah, the Beyblade.
Base of a Beyblade. Yeah. So, anyways, shout out to Chris Garrix.
Yes, thank you
for
so much,
the notes. And before we get started with our recap, quick reminder: dropping us a question on the Patreon or the YouTube channel memberships. That's where we post our question thread, so you can get access to those. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. If you want to ask a question of the show, you can go there, or you can click join on the YouTube and become a channel member. You also get access to our bonus content, and you get access to the huge May Predictions Challenge. That's right, the inaugural Big Blue Predictions Champion will be crowned at the Weekend of Champions, which includes NXT Battlegrounds, Double or Nothing from AEW, and of course WWE's Morning of Champions. The McGriddles of Champions is what I'm dubbing that pay-per-view, man, because I'm going to have myself a McGriddle.
There's a high possibility that I will have a McGriddle as well, maybe with the hash brown shoved in between it.
Man, those hash browns are expensive. There's like $3 extra for a hash brown.
Yeah, no, the value proposition for the hash browns is terrible.
It's like three. That's my only complaint. My only complaint, man, about McD's is that hash brown is marked up so high.
It really is. I mean, that's where they're making their money. It's a 2-cent hash brown they're charging $3 for.
I know.
I mean, that's how they're making their money.
It's a smart business proposition. I'm just saying, I can go.
Well, I mean, it's smart in so much as long as they don't price people out of buying their hash browns. Those things used to be $1.
You can get 3 for 1 special, dude. Yeah. So just click join on the YouTube. Or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson. Over at our other channel, Friendo Club Wrestling, where we do shorter, sillier stuff. Speaking of silly, we today on the channel, we reviewed Dave Meltzer's star ratings for the WWE Backlash pay-per-view. It's a little bit on the late side. Of course, last week was like probably the worst fucking week ever. And so we're a little bit late on it. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the Raw recap.
Let's do it. Show opened up with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn coming to the ring as Sami starts off. It says, Greensboro, not going to lie, I'm excited. We found out Friday. Trust me, we were as surprised as anyone. They were defending against Solo and Roman. It says, look, I get it on paper. This is as big a threat as ever, but we see it as a gift. We're getting something we never thought, revenge on Roman Reigns. Let's be honest, Kevin Owens should have beaten Roman for the Universal Championship. In an Elimination Chamber, I should have beat him. But he cheated through his entire title reign, has gone unchecked for too long, so we're going to check him. This is the problem with Roman. There's no one to stop. I thought the only chance was to watch the Bloodline crumble, but Roman is doing a fine job of that all by himself. He's pushing the Usos too hard. Now he's pushing on these titles too hard. It isn't enough to have 2 titles and be champion for 1,000 days. Roman, you psycho, you manipulator. You can't have him.
Oh, sure he can. He's a tribal chief. Sami was really sweaty here, which to me says he doesn't actually believe that. He is terrified, Larson. Roman Reigns is going to get those titles, man. Oh, yeah, and he'll find out by the end of Raw just how likely that might be. After that, Judgment Day's music hits. They make their way to the stage. And I was kind of bummed out about this. Kevin Owens' heel move cut their music before those awesome vocals came through, man. I love those vocals on that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh. You got a little bit of Michael McDonald there.
A little bit. That's all I can do my falsetto these days.
I don't know what the actual lyric is. Otherwise, I'd bust some Bee Gees.
Yeah, same. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. Now you sound like a Gib.
I sound like a Gib. Yeah, Bee Gees. For a second, I thought you said I sound like a gimp. So Kevin Owens says, "I'm like they usually wear leather masks."
Yeah. What? Robin Gibb or Maurice?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Honestly,
or Barry.
Which one was the lead on who's the alpha
I think
Gib?
It was Barry. It was Barry, wasn't it?
Was it Barry? Yeah, man. He had the beard and everything.
Yeah.
He was always the front and center one. Then there was the ugly guy, and then there was a guy
Maurice
who looked
and Robin,
normal.
I believe, was and then Andy was the one that
Andy's
was
the one who passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Barry's the man. Anyways, so Kevin Owens like, oh, I'm so glad you came out here. I'm sick of talking about the bloodline. I don't know what you're going to say, and I don't care. You want to fight? Let's go. So again, Kevin Owens, he's on tilt too, man.
Yeah, he is.
Sami says, I'll admit, I started at a 10 and you're up here, but we don't have any issues, but maybe they don't want to fight. Let's just hear them out. Gentlemen and Dom, which got a good crowd reaction. He says, Brittany here clarifies. It was Barry.
It was Barry, yeah.
Says, the floor is yours. And then Priest says, actually, Sami, he's spot on. I'd love to fight. And then Finn says, whoa, tranquilo, big man. We're here to talk. We came to wish you luck against Solo and Roman, but it looks like you're back to where you started. But if by some miracle you actually do win, when you get back, there's a whole line of superstars waiting for you, and the line starts here. And then Rhea says, in case you didn't remember, we run Monday Night Raw. And Sami chirps back, says, those are all good points. Very well said. Personally, I want to hear what Dom has to say. Would you like to weigh in? These people just love when you talk. So, of course, they do the thing where he tries to. The crowd just boos the crap out of him, and Owens just gets sick of it. Says, I'm tired of this. I can't hear what he's saying. Can I just punch him in the face? And Sami says, oh, why not? And then Rhea, boom, jumps in front of Kevin Owens, which is another great bit they always do.
Yeah.
As he's about to, clock Dom. And then they all face off, and then Priest sucker punches Sami. Judgment Day takes out Kevin Owens, but Sami gets back in with a chair, and the Judgment Day take a powder.
Yeah,
they Splitsville.
This is one of those segments that, in the hands of people who are as comfortable in front of crowds on mics and didn't know their characters, could have been long and didn't really have the
boring and meandering.
Yeah, but everybody here has such great personalities. And the chemistry between everybody was so good. The thing just flowed and it hit as it was supposed to, and it was awesome.
Isn't that one of the biggest positives about sort of since Triple H has taken over? And I understand, and I still maintain, just in a nutshell, generally speaking, I actually enjoyed Raw last night. I thought there was a lot to really like about it. I love when there's a big story that encompasses a lot of different wrestlers. I always love that stuff. I thought Becky did a killer promo last night too on Trish. Really thought that was really good. I thought there was a lot to really like about it last night. Seeing so much of Rhea Ripley, like she's so integral to the show in so many different facets. But
the crowd last night was really good too.
Oh, that crowd was killer last night.
Yeah,
that crowd was excellent last night. But isn't that like the one of the biggest positives about Triple H's time since he's been around? Is everybody seems to know so much more who they are, and everybody has their distinct personalities, and we understand how they interact with each other.
It's probably because Vince isn't there to tell him, I know who you are.
No, I think you're right about that. I think Triple H seems like the kind of guy who, I don't know, maybe gives people more, we've heard this in NXT, gives people more freedom to explore who their character is.
I would think so. Like, there's an agreement made about, all right, this is who your character is. Now go explore that.
Yeah, right.
Find how aspects of this character connect to you.
Wasn't there like a behind the scenes thing? It was on one of the 24s or something like that. And you see, or the day of or whatever it was, Triple H talking to Priest and them like developing the character, him saying, and then we need to figure out how much of you to put in this versus the character. And that was such an interesting, like just one little snippet, that was such an interesting little thing to witness because it speaks to process of character, which has got to be one of the most difficult things to crack. They endlessly cannot do with Austin Theory. That's a good example of a guy who simply doesn't know. And what's the result? Nobody reacts to him.
No one cares. No one gives a shit what he does. Yeah. Nobody. Now we had our first match next. Nakamura taking on The Miz. Little surprise here. Nakamura gets the win. Fun bout, though. Down towards the finish. Miz looks for a skull-crushing finale. Misses it. Gets crushed to the top turnbuckle. And then Nakamura hits that sliding German suplex. Looks for a Kinshasa, but Miz rolls out of the ring. Tries to distract the ref, and in doing so, pokes Nakamura in the eyes, hits a skull-crushing finale, but Nakamura is too close to the ropes, gets his foot on it. So Miz is going for some move. He gets rolled up, kicks out. Nakamura hits him with a Kinshasa immediately to get the win.
Yeah, good stuff. Hopefully Shinsuke could just move on now. But I suspect
some wins together.
Yeah. This was it was a really good look for Nakamura. You can tell that even he's trying to recapture some of that NXT Nakamura. He goes to the center, the corner of the crowd there, the barricades, and trying to get the crowd into his entrance and everything. So you like to see that. I want to make sure he's not milling about with Miz too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
After that, we have Adam, Pierce, Sonya Deville, and Chelsea Green, and Raquel backstage. And Pierce is like, we all know Liv got injured Friday. Apparently, that's a real thing, according to Fightful. Yeah. Liv Morgan got injured Friday, and as much as she wants to compete tonight, she won't be able to. The tag team title match is postponed. So when he says, as a former management member, we all know how this should go. They should forfeit the titles and just be given to us by default. And Pierce says, okay, as a former management member, you should know that would never happen. And then Raquel says, like, I'm not going to stand here and listen to you guys cry. I'll happily defend Liv's honor in a match against you, Chelsea. And Pierce says, oh, that's something I can make official right now. And Green pauses a second and says, all right, you're going to regret this. And then she storms out pretty upset. Then we had a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins.
We did. Corey Graves was doing the interviewing. Seth, but there were some giant sunglasses, like a blazer of some sort, no shirt on underneath. So it goes all the way back to the beginning of his journey in WWE, 2012 in NXT. And then Corey is like, hey, we're going to talk a lot. I know you pretty well, so we're going to really get into it. And Seth goes, well, don't dig too deep. And so he's asked about the NXT tournament in 2012 to crown the first champion. Seth said there was a need for change, and I had the vision to take the reins. I could pave the way. I could push the industry forward. So Corey moves on talking about the Shield and their debut. And Seth says, we wanted success now. We wanted change now. And we didn't take no for an answer. And he continues, of everything I ever did, I'm always asked about why I did that, referring to hitting Roman with the chair. That was for the last night's portion of this interview. This is really kind of the centerpiece, which makes me feel like down the road they're going to revisit Seth Rollins at some point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He says, everything I ever did, I'm always asked why I did that. We had beaten everybody, and at some point, if you want ultimate success, you take risks. I didn't put the chair in Roman's back. What's the future look like? Interesting what if.
Yeah, Corey emphasized that as well. He was like, we'll be asking that question until the day we're all gone. Yeah.
To think how pivotal that moment is to the fortunes and the storylines of so many people.
The entirety of what we're seeing now. Yeah. No, it was a ballsy move. Every once in a while, and this is the thing about Vince, is that you saw this a lot during the Attitude Era, and that was one hallmark of the Attitude Era. The way he built up the stars back then was out of desperation. WCW was whooping his ass, and he had a product that was like 20 years behind the times.
Yep.
And he had to freshen it up. And that's basically what it's the Attitude Era. So you saw all sorts of risks, and then those were fewer and fewer. So you don't see a lot of those anymore.
It got a lot safer, And that's kind of one of the thesis in Seth's interview, at least the first part of it, was I'm the only one in a position now, high on the card, main eventer, if you will, who's willing to take risks.
Yeah, right.
To take risks in terms of who I defend the title against, in terms of my workload. Everybody out there is a main eventer is looking just to protect themselves.
But here's the thing, you and I have talked about this so often, is that under Vince McMahon, just anecdotally what we've heard, it seemed so difficult for performers to be able to take the reins and take those risks.
Definitely.
Because he liked to play it safe so often.
Yeah, and if you went off script, there was always the fear of retribution from Vince.
Right, exactly, yeah. So it's funny, whenever anybody, and this even rings true to the Cena-Austin Theory stuff, when anybody criticizes a wrestler for, and the failure of Austin Theory is just as much uncreative, maybe even more so.
Oh, yeah.
As it is, but then I don't know, maybe he's been given freedom and he just has nothing, I always say Cena's entire career and all of his success was based off of kind of just happenstance. He was rapping on a bus, freestyling, and Stephanie heard it and was like, that right there. And then we got what we got.
Yep.
So anyways, after that, Gunther and Imperium shows up. Gunther just sort of seamlessly walks onto the announce table. Kaiser gives him a great introduction, gives him the mic, and says, perhaps an introduction is due. For almost a year, I dominated Friday Night SmackDown as the undefeated, longest-reigning Intercontinental Champion of the modern era. I shall continue my mission on Monday Night Raw. He was getting a good reaction, too.
Yeah, he is.
He says, but understand no man has yet been identified for my great prize or earned my respect. In a few moments, one man can achieve both. Tonight, this battle royal will determine the next challenger for my championship at Night of Champions. The other thing I love about last night's Raw, Vince McMahon apparently is up in his castle approving what's going on. Gunther is still the man.
Yeah, he was one of the centerpieces of this whole episode.
He was, and he's getting good reactions, and I think he's hopefully, there's always just the worry that Vince isn't going to like somebody, he's going to be like, take that title off him or whatever. Yeah. But they're rolling with him. He was heavily featured last night.
He really was, and he was given several opportunities to talk, which those opportunities they're maybe more common of late for him, but still not terribly common.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's getting comfortable with his character and presenting that character on television.
1,000%. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great. It's great to see. Even though last night he almost laughed when Kevin Owens was like trying to get him to come too. You can see the smile creep on his face.
Dude, he smiled a couple times last night, and I love it because it's like characters should be multidimensional. You know, why should he be humorless? He respects the mat. He respects the sport of professional wrestling. Doesn't mean the guy can't, dance like a champ at his wedding, number one.
Yeah.
They should have put that on TV.
They should have. Or crack up when Kevin Owens is trying to get him to kind of like snap out of whatever focus he was in. I know.
It makes it even more interesting because it's like this guy can he can absolutely destroy people.
I know.
But it's like, if he finds something, it's like Brock, like when Brock laughs at something, it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's just, even his laugh is terrifying. Anyways, then we had the number one contender battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, we saw Zion quit in this too.
Oh, he was. I literally didn't see that.
Yeah, he was in it.
I saw Von Wagner because he's so difficult to miss.
And it looked like Baron Corbin's luggage got lost because he was just wrestling in shorts and like a cut-off.
No, he's been doing that lately.
Oh, he has? Okay.
Yeah, that's been his gear lately. His gear is literally my walking around gear during the summertime. It's like the sleeveless shirt with some basketball shorts. It's just if he was wearing flip-flops, that'd be Steve going to Walmart.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like the gear. I just figured he lost it. Like his luggage got lost in his flight out to North Carolina.
I think somebody brought it up to me on I forget who. Somebody brought it up to me on Twitter like, hey, look, he's wrestling basketball shorts now. I'm like, oh, man. Ultimate comfort.
Good call. It's great call.
Great call.
Fantastic.
This is a really fun battle royal, too, because there's all sorts of stories playing out. You had the Massey Mansois stuff going on with Otis, but at the same time, they're freaking out because they eliminated Dexter Lumis after he had eliminated Baron Corbin, I think. So there was a lot of and what's his face? The big fella, Bronson Reed, had a huge showing.
Great showing. He's getting good reactions, too.
And he was actually getting reactions, yeah.
As mentioned, JD McDonough was in it. He's eliminated by Dolph, but then just starts throwing Dolph into the ring steps immediately. Von Wagner was in it. He eliminated Dolph, but we didn't see any more of Von after the commercial break.
Hey, I disappeared. Stone. Yeah.
There's a great bit where Bronson Reed hits Johnny Gargano with an Uranagi onto Ricochet. There's a whole stretch where Bronson Reed is just annihilating everybody. The
Uranagi onto that was good. That looked gnarly.
Eventually, so Imperium, of course, is ringside. Riddle starts taking it to I think he kicks Vinci ringside, jumps over one from Kaiser, but then Reed eliminates Matt Riddle. There's a bit where Riddle shoves Gunther ringside as well. So then Ali and Ricochet team up to eliminate Bronson Reed. But then when Reed's getting eliminated, Ali hits a missile dropkick on both of them and then sends them both to the top rope, so he gets the win.
Yeah, great to see it.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
So yeah, you're right about the Riddle stuff, but it's
probably gonna be a situation where Owens and Zayn are like, who's gonna be our third guy?
Mm-hmm.
And Riddle's like, bro, we go back. We teamed up against the Bloodline. I know it didn't necessarily go our way, but hey, we trust each other. Let me be your third man, brother.
Hey.
And they're just going to be like, oh, fine, whatever. And
well, it'd be kind of interesting. I mean, yeah. Like if nobody else wants to step up against all these people, Because not only do you have Gunther and Imperium, but there's like the Bloodline looming and Judgment Day out there as well, ready to. But yeah, Matt, as Eastside Reviews here in YouTube chat says, Matt Riddle, firm depth guy at this point.
He's a depth guy at this juncture.
Bro, I'll eat the pin now, bro.
Maybe here's the thing, too, is Owens and Zayn be like, hey, Riddle will do this. He'll be in this match with us. And he's shown that he's willing to go in there and fight people.
Yeah, right.
We could chill. We could lay back.
Oh, yeah, right.
Let him take the brunt of the work, the brunt of the attack from the opposite team.
The chops. He'll take the chops.
Take the chops, and if he takes the L, what's that to us?
It's not us.
It's not us.
Not us. It's
what
not
does it mean
us.
to us? Doesn't mean anything.
Roman established the precedent. If you're in a multi-man match and somebody else eats the pin, you didn't lose it.
You didn't lose.
There's not a loss on
Riddle
your record.
lost. It's not a loss for Owens and Zayn.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, good with John the drummer here says Matt Riddle.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Anyways, after that we had
Some days I feel like I'm turning into Kendall Roy with how I talk sometimes.
Dude, I do that all the time. These days it is like I'll find myself Lacey will say something like okay, yeah, no, that's good. We can action item that one, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Big, let's do it, huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, we had Becky Lynch with a big promo on Trish Stratus. She says, the man has come around to Greensboro. She says, part of being the man is admitting when you're going through stuff, we all have our struggles and we put on the face we need to put on to become the people we want to be. Sometimes when it becomes overwhelming, we have to ask for help. I asked for help from two legends who have been through a lot, Lita and Trish Stratus. Lita was great. She came back and Trish came back and hadn't skipped a beat. And I was so clouded in my judgment, I couldn't see the snake in the grass. The Serpent Society. She said Trish didn't come back to help me. She came back to help herself, like the backstabbing egomaniac that she is. But I came out to say thank you, Trish, because Trish's whole thesis was nobody said thank you.
Yeah.
So I said thank you, Trish, but not for all the bollocks reason you gave. I want to say thank you for hitting me in the back of the head. You turned on a light that was off for many months. When you called my daughter stupid, you reminded me the only thing that matters is standing up for the people that depend on us. And thank you for giving all the badness in my head a name, a face, and a target. At one stage, you were number one, and you want to be number one again. But I am it. I became it. I don't need a title to prove it. If you want it, then I got it. I will show you how thankful I am when I kick your head at Night of Champions.
It was a good promo. It was really good.
That was awesome. But Rhea was watching in the background.
Yeah.
And in the backstage, rather. And Kathy asked Natalia, asked her about Natalia. And Rhea's like, she needs to stay in her lane. She's had an impressive career, but the Natty walks up and says, yeah, my career is impressive, but you know what? She says, but you know that. This isn't about lanes. It's about beating a woman who's already beaten. You're dominant, but I deserve respect, something you're not giving the women you're running through. Rhea says, you act like you came down there for Dana Brooke, but we all know you wanted to be in the ring with me so people would care again, so you're welcome. But if you interrupt me again, I won't boost your career. I'm going to end it. And then her and Dom shows up and they hold hands and then they walk off.
Yeah. So then we're backstage. Mustafa Ali is positive Ali, happy about his victory in the Battle Royal. So he walks up to the Academy and says, hey, enough with the negativity. Hey, if you had more positivity, then you would have won the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title. Want some advice? And they're all like, no. And Ali says, I used to be a loser like you, and I started thinking more positive, and look at me. So he takes his leave, walks right up to Imperium and Gunther, congratulates him, and says, I feel regret for you already. Yeah. You're traveling across the world for the biggest loss of your career, the beating that comes with it. Good luck. And Ali says, I feel bad for you, too. You have to go all the way there and back just for me to humiliate you and take your Intercontinental Championship.
And you know what Gunther did? He just smiled.
He did. He just did this.
Was Gunther just like in a really good mood last night?
Seems like it.
He's like, Vince McMahon finally likes me. He really likes me. After that, we had Xavier Woods versus Dom. Dom cut a promo first, said, look, it's Xavier Woods. You want to convince yourself that you'll beat me because it's a new day? And Woods says, let me stop you, man. I don't have anyone right now to watch my back, but I'm a man who can stand on his own 2 feet and fight his own battles. Can you do that, or do you need permission from mommy to speak? And then Dom walks down. So they have the match. Let me ask you this. Is Xavier Woods, I hate to say this, is he a depth guy without the New Day as a singles guy?
Solo wrestler, depth guy.
I'm going to say no. I'm just throwing that question out there. I'm going to say no because...
He's the former King of the Ring.
Well, that doesn't matter. You could be a former whatever. You can be a depth guy. Depth guys, WWE will never... I'll put it this way. A depth guy is not somebody who could be released easily by WWE. And Xavier Woods, I think, is integral to WWE, largely because of the YouTube stuff. He's a great ambassador. But as a singles competitor on the show, without the New Day, it's kind of a depth guy, right? If he didn't have everything else going for him. Depth guy.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
But he's safe because he has so much else going for him, including the New Day. And, once Kofi's back, I'm sure, I have no doubt they'll be back in the... is this powdered donut stuff? I got like white powder on my freaking keyboard.
You got white powdered donuts.
Well, I have white powder, but I'm pretty sure it's from powdered donut.
I would hope so. What else would it be?
Anthrax. I don't know. Cocaine. I don't know. There's a baking soda. There's lots of different white powders. I'm just throwing out a bunch.
In your office.
Again, I don't know. I like that you asked me about that, but like you don't say, why would you have cocaine in your office? I don't do that,
Well, I would assume you would. I also wouldn't know why you'd have anthrax there either.
Well, I know, exactly. Anyways. Dom gets
flour.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I could lick my finger.
Salt.
I think it's probably powdered donut, man.
Yeah, powdered donuts. That seems the most logical explanation, right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Mystery solved. Update. Dom gets the win again. So Xavier goes up for the top rope elbow. Like last match, Rhea pulls Dom out of the way, but this time Woods hits a plancha and takes Dom out on the floor. He puts Dom back in the ring and turns to talk some crap with Rhea. Dom hits a drop kick. Rhea clobbers Woods, tosses him back in as Dom rolls him up to get the W.
Mm-hmm. Yep. After that, where is this going? Where's the Dom Xavier? What do you think? I mean, that's going to continue, right?
I would imagine with Dom getting these cheating wins. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'd like
maybe Kofi will be back soon, and then
could be. Yeah, that's a good point.
Dom and Priest teaming up to feud with the New Day, but then also Priest and Finn teaming up to feud with Owens and Sami.
Oof, the Judgment Day against the New Day. Oh man, New Day are totally depth guys now, aren't they? Oh no, because Judgment Day is winning that feud, man. They're hot right now.
They'd win the feud, but it's not to say the New Day couldn't win a match.
I don't know about that, man. Isn't it funny that it feels like Finn is like the most likely to take pins in the Judgment Day now?
Kind of feels that way, I know.
Right? Yeah. Although he did get the win last
all the
night.
reports of people being really high on Damian Priest right now after the Bad Bunny match.
And Dom being pretty hot with the crowd. Rhea's not, she ain't taking no
But then
pins,
Finn got the pin in the main event. So
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. It's either way. He seems like he's having so much fun. Anyways, after that, we have this phenomenal JD McDonough video package. It's like it's like up against like a white screen, but like he's just in black and white. He's like beautifully filmed.
Oh, it's really well done, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, I believed if you worked as hard as you could, treated others with respect, you get your turn. But as the years went on, guys who weren't fit to lace my boots got an opportunity. I realized I'm performing for an audience of fools. What you're left with is this. I am the destructor. I dig the graves. The Irish ace is here to stay. And then we're in the parking garage. Kathy catches up with him and asks him about attacking Dolph after he's eliminated. He says, I came to Raw to make a statement, and who better to do it to? He's a former champion, Money in the Bank winner, and he eats a lot of losses these days. He didn't say that. He says, but I'm here to show why you never bet against the ace. But as he leaves, Finn is like lurking in the background, and he's paying attention to him.
Then we got Indus Sher taking on some local enhancement talent. Indus Sher just dominated, beat the hell out of him. Veer is like one of the most explosive guys in the ring.
Dude, he's a lot of fun in the ring, right?
Flat-footed, he can leap. He's got like a 35-inch vertical and just like destroys somebody with like a Thez press. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible how explosive he is. Anyways, they get the win after a double team sidewalk slam / second rope elbow. Afterwards, Jinder cuts some promos, says, we run this show and our future will be written in gold. Intense, not exactly chill Jinder. He wasn't yelling, but he was
intense, cold, not chill though. There's a difference there. Chill is like easy going. Like what is he listening to if he's chill?
Yacht rock.
Some Rupert Holmes Escape, maybe?
Some Captain and Tennille. Some Kenny Loggins, perhaps.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Boy, there's got to be like a whole compilation out there of that shit. Who used to do the compilation?
I used to have one on my desk up here, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
2 CDs? No, 4 CD set.
Did you send that to the Enforcer?
I might have.
Oh, wow. Man, hope we got good use out of them. Who used to make those compilations back in the day?
Oh, like the Time Life used to do those.
Time Life.
Yeah, it was Time Life.
It was Time Life. Oh man. Anyways,
you like pina coladas?
You like pina coladas? Yeah, that you know what that whole song's about, of course, right?
It's about spouses cheating on each other, only to find out they answer personal ads and find out they're answering the personal ads of their spouse who's looking to cheat on them. And
then they laugh about it in the end. They think it's real cute.
They rekindles their romance, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, and then they like bang a bunch, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, that had to. There could have been. They had to have like ended up as swingers, I'd imagine. They're like, hey, we wanted to be with
the
other
70s.
People. Yeah, like heavy on key parties back then, man.
Yeah.
Sami and Kevin Owens are in the back. Imperium walk up, and Kevin Owens like, he's like, what is this? And Gunther says, I will not tolerate the disrespect you showed my men. And Kevin Owens says, what disrespect? You have a problem with last week? He says, next week, how about this? We fight you. You can't fight tonight. We have a fight. We're going to fight next week. All 3 of you guys. And Sami says, we'll find a partner.
Well, the best part is like Kevin Owens does all that, and Gunther just stares at him.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, come on, step out of it.
What's your problem? Step out of it.
And that's when Gunther tries not to laugh.
He's so on tilt, man. Kevin Owens is not happy with the situation right now.
No, he's not. Pressure's getting to him.
Yeah, and Sami says, look, we'll find a partner. And then Kevin Owens reluctantly agrees. I mean, isn't this going to be a great thing if, like, Kevin Owens,
Kevin Owens realized that moment that was going to be Riddle, so that's why he's like, oh.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So anyways, Gunther accepts by just saying, gentlemen.
Another smirk from
Gunther. And he smiles again. He was very smiley in this episode.
He really was.
Yeah.
Then we get Cody coming to the ring. He wants to talk.
Whoa!
So he says, so Greensboro, North Carolina, what do you want to talk about? Says, I know these grounds. I know this arena. This is the home of the very first Starrcade, a wonderful memory, a great amount of mutual respect, which is not shared by Brock Lesnar, who elected not to be here. You guys are fun, though, right? I'll try one out. Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the scorpion and the frog? So he tells, what, a parable?
Yeah, it was a parable. Yeah.
A parable. So he says the scorpion needs to get to the other side of the river. So he asks the frog, who can jump and swim, hey, can you take me across the river? And the frog's like, hell no. You're going to sting me, Scorpion. And the Scorpion says, no. We would both die if I stung you halfway across the river. So I wouldn't do that. It wouldn't make any sense. So that logic seems airtight to Mr. Frog. So he says, Scorpion, hop on my back. He's carrying him across the river. And sure enough, halfway across, bang, he gets stung. Mm-hmm. And as the poison's running through Frog's veins, he asks the Scorpion, why, Scorpion?
Why, Scorpion?
Why did you sting me?
Yeah.
And the Scorpion says, because it's my nature.
Scorpion said, because it's showtime.
Because it's showtime. No one could escape the Scorpion deathlock. That's what Scorpion should have said. So Cody continues. Is Brock Lesnar's nature to hunt? He must be hunting. But make sure you're the one hunting. Let me ask you, how's your face? I know you look in the mirror and you see a lion, but you should also see a black eye and a set of staples. When I look in the mirror, I see the man who put them there, who beat Brock Lesnar and put down maybe the biggest bully in WWE history. So I gladly accept Brock's challenge, and I won't go out of bounds on Brock Lesnar. There's always talk about his ego and manipulation. You know why? He's always been on top, because he's better than 99.9% of superstars to come in here. But at Backlash, he was not better than me. He called it a cheap win. It was a wrestling counter to a wrestling move in a wrestling ring. How cheap is that? Brock, even if I had godlike powers, you still would have hunted me. I mean, I'm surprised Cody doesn't think he has.
What do you mean
powers.
if? Yeah, what does he talk about humble? What do you mean if? Cody, clearly. Come on now.
All right. Bring it down a little bit. It says, this isn't about a title. This is about who's the big thing on Monday Night Raw. The next big thing. That's what they always said. They were right, but Brock, eventually, what happens when they say next. He's conquered sports entertainment, but I need you to take your busted face and step aside because you're no longer the big thing here anymore. You're simply in my way.
Yeah. This is a great comment from John Hosey here on YouTube. when the frog asked the scorpion, why'd you do that? Because you're a depth guy, frog. The frog is a depth guy. He had a hope spot, but he lost.
Oh, he did. He did. Poor swimming across the river psychology from Frog.
What do you think? What do you think that frog scorpion parable got from Meltzer? How many stars did that get?
2.5 stars.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. Nothing new.
Yeah, not enough hope spots. Nothing new.
Not enough hope spots. Nothing new. Oh, that's good. Frog is a depth guy. Zoe Stark is backstage. I don't know why she's talking to Nikki Cross, but she's just talking about how she beat somebody last week. But that person was Nikki Cross. And Candice walks up and says, "Hey, don't talk to her like that." And Stark's like, "Where's your weirdo family?" And Candice is like, "Don't talk about my family. We don't need to settle this here. We can do this in the ring." And so he's like, "All right, next week, depth guy." It's like, what'd you say? Don't call me a depth guy.
Depth guy.
Sorry, Candice.
So we had Raquel Rodriguez taking on Chelsea Green. It's a fun match. I'm really happy that Chelsea is getting her opportunity on WWE main roster after the injury issue she had her first time with the company. She's so good.
I have never, it is so rare to see somebody with that much camera charisma.
I know.
Oh my God.
That's just how she is. I mean, we sat next to her at Starcast.
Starcade.
I almost said Starcade. And she is the nicest, most personable person.
And she's radiant. It's nuts. Every once in a while you meet somebody like that. I heard the same thing. Somebody said that about Rosario Dawson, a friend of ours, Mo. Said that about Rosario. I think it was Mo. Said that about Rosario Dawson. Said you can't take your eyes off her. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great to see after, you're right, after those injuries. That's got to be rough, those setbacks. And so it's great to see her here taking the L to Raquel Rodriguez via a Tejana bomb.
Yeah.
But I think Chelsea and Sonya, I think they're gonna get theirs. I mean, you got Ronda and Shayna. Clearly, that's gonna be the thing. But if something happens to them, if that doesn't become the thing, then you got to think Sonya and Chelsea are right there.
The character work they've been doing has been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's been awesome. So Raquel's celebrating on the ramp. Ronda Rousey does a sliding super kick on her. Shayna's there as well. They just start laying into Raquel. Ronda grabs the mic, says, "Hey, champ, got a question. What are you supposed to do with that title?" "Oh, rhetorical question. Defend it. You're going to defend it with or without Liv, and you're going to get a beating every week until you do." So she holds up Raquel, and then Shayna comes in and kicks her.
Yeah. That was I like, except for the the goofy fall. This is a pretty effective segment here.
Oh, it was. I mean, I'm sure the fall wasn't intentional. So
no, I don't think it was.
Don't really hold that against her.
I don't think it was. I'm just glad she didn't completely explode her leg like Ridge Holland that time. So Imperium's backstage, and they're shaking somebody's hand who's off camera, off frame, but that person ends up being Paul Dangerly.
So what I liked about this is that's a 3-shot of Imperium. And Gunther's there and just kind of shaking his head, and he looks over to Vinci, and Vinci shakes his head, and he looks over to Kaiser, and Kaiser does the thing, and then again Gunther does the smirk, and then puts his hand out.
Another smiling segment there from Gunther, after a Mr. Bean look on
hand
Vinci's
comes in.
face.
Yeah.
And then Payman has his red phone. He says, "Call the tribal chief." After that, Corey. It's the Seth Rollins
interview,
thing again. Yeah. So, Corey asks about the many iterations of Seth Rollins. There's, of course, the Architect, the Monday Night Messiah, and then, of course,
boring face Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he never mentioned boring face Seth Rollins.
No.
Yeah, that's a good one. And he's like, "Why is the current Seth best Seth?" And he says, "This approach, my hands are off the wheel." It's like a Fight Club. He says, "That's the fun part. We're in this crazy synergistic experience with the WWE Universe, and I get to experience the most authentic version of myself." And I was like, "You sure it wasn't boring face Seth Rollins? That was the most authentic version?" Because it just seemed like him who wanted to be
good
guy.
It wasn't bitter, resentful social media user?
That seems like authentic. Because I'll be honest, I don't see Seth Rollins in real life being like this guy, laughing maniacally all the time.
I know.
But I get it. He's found something that connects with the crowd, and he's a good guy, so he's got to be over the moon, right?
Exactly. He's doing the best work of his career.
He is. He absolutely is. So anyways, he says, I get to experience, he says, maybe it's the equity, the time, the hard work, but there's some organic relationship. And for the first time in my career, I'm not forcing the change. The WWE Universe is the catalyst for the change in me. Corey then asks, why is it time for a new title and why Seth? He says, I hate to say it, but we need a change again. I don't feel like anybody at the top wants to take risks. They're more about protecting themselves and not pushing the industry forward. Now is the perfect time, and we could do it the way it's supposed to be done. He asked about Roman, and Seth said, oh, I knew you'd get there. And then he takes his glasses off to be serious, Seth. To be continued next week.
They really should have done. He's taken off the glasses, and they've gone to slow-mo, to make you feel like, oh, there's more. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be weighty and heavy. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
We're just slow turn to reaction to Corey.
Oh yeah.
Should have done. That builds anticipation. I know. It's dramatic.
I know. No, I agree, man. Get that music going, everything.
Yeah, exactly. The interview last night was awesome. Seth is great.
Oh yeah, no.
We joke.
Huge
fans of Seth Rollins.
No, he's freaking great, man.
Yeah,
for as much as he has done in his career already, and that turn was in 2014. For as much as he's done in his career already, because his title win was in 2015.
Yeah.
He has managed to continually reinvent himself, and if something's not working, like boring face Seth Rollins, he doesn't dwell on it long.
Nope.
Pivot. Yeah, exactly. Yep. After that, we had a nice little Apollo Crews video package. No prognostication here.
Nope. No notebook.
Sad about that.
Nope.
I want the notebook.
No visions.
I want the visions. I want some Nostradamus stuff, man.
Yeah. Quatrains is what you want.
The Man Who Saw Tomorrow 2, Apollo Crews.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
With quatrains.
Who would you have to host that?
Jonathan Frakes.
Good.
I feel like he is totally like the successor to the Orson Welles paycheck thing, you know?
Yeah. Who within WWE would you have hosted, though?
Oh, man. Oh, wow. I do feel like Xavier Woods. That's why he's not a depth guy, because that dude can be used in any number of ways.
Let me ask you, someone brought this up in chat, and apologies, I didn't catch the name. Is Woods a depth guy or a utility guy? Because you can put Xavier Woods in any situation, he's going to excel.
I think it was Eastside Reviews. Absolutely correct. Utility guy, 1,000%. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I was just throwing that out there for fun. And the New Day, even if they lose to Judgment Day, they're not depth guys. No. You're not going. They might be utility at this point, but they're also the type where they can be relevant just like that.
Exactly.
Just like that.
Exactly. I mean that speaks to why they're useful in helping getting other performers over, because just like that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They're back in the championship hunt and winning titles.
Yeah. Organ Grinder says, I think in reference to who would narrate the thing we were just talking about, he says, I like Lieb Schreiber. Isn't it Lieb?
Yeah.
Lieb Schreiber. Is it Schreiber or Schreiber?
I don't remember, man.
We had our main event. Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and man, oh man, they had the odds stacked against them, or stacked against them. Not just
overbooked.
It was overbooked, and it was gloriously overbooked, and it led to Finn Balor hitting that coup de grace on Sami Zayn. But of course, you got Imperium out there. You had the other Judgment Day dudes out there. It was good stuff, man.
For a bit until they got kicked
for a second. Yeah, they do the thing.
Dom
and they
got
get
involved.
Back there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was a really fun bout, and it's great to see Finn get some wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if momentum is important in pro wrestling, which I don't really think it is.
Oh, dude, you need momentum.
Well, apparently, but then if you're going to a pay-per-view and you lose, that helps you. So
you gotta
explain that to me.
Manage your momentum properly. You can't win going into a pay-per-view.
Gotcha. You have to win. You have to have a little bit. You have momentum going into it. Put the brakes caused that momentum by taking an L or at least a beatdown prior to pay-per-view.
Unless you're Cody, it's all momentum always.
And then you store that momentum for the pay-per-view.
Cody's nothing but perpetual momentum. He defies physics.
That sounds like a godlike power.
Right, exactly. Which I think he was hinting. He was focus grouping the godlike power thing. You know, he was like, let's see how people are going to take to me mentioning me having godlike powers, because clearly,
it's like he's turning more into Homelander.
Yeah, that's the point. That's totally the point. He's going to start exploding heads and everything, man. Should I apply for this to be a trivia master?
Where?
The thing that me and Lacey go to on Tuesdays.
Oh, really?
That company.
That would
is
seem like a
hiring.
conflict of interest if you're going to play too, Steve.
That is true. So I'll have to figure out how to clone myself. $75 per game night. You think it should be more?
No, not really.
It's not 75 credit at the bar. It's like a 2-hour gig.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad for. It's not bad pay.
No, $30 plus $30
an hour, and I'm guessing maybe you get hooked up with a drink or two.
Right? Yeah. On
No,
top
it's
of
not
that,
bad. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't feel like I have the personality to do that. So
I do. Here's the one reason. Here's the one reason why I wouldn't. Because they have to check people for cheating.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to have your phone out for obvious reasons. If somebody has their phone out, it's like,
no phones.
Hey, come on, man. People snitch on each other for having phones out. Then you have to confront those people.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. No.
That sounds like a night. If I had an enforcer. Well, now we can't. Now I can't use that in it. Now it's not the enforcer. If I had what's the euphemism for enforcer? Because we got to retire that term. Some muscle. Yeah, if I had some muscle there, the enforcer would have been great at that. He'd been like, hey,
phone's away.
Put your phone away. He's reading a question.
Away, grab by the collar, the bottom of their shirt, and chuck him out the door.
Exactly. Whoop-ah. Big whoop-ah. Yeah. No, I need some muscle there. You don't want to be a duo, you know?
Do I look like muscle to you?
Oh, dude, I've seen you shredded, man. These days, you're doing the gym stuff a lot. Not at the gym. You're like your garage.
No, in my garage, but I know. But then my back hurts because it's doing deadlifts. Now my back hurts. So
there's also a guy at the one that I go to that kind of looks like you already. We always call him Larson.
Really?
Yeah. There's like a bunch of there's a bunch of variants of you. There's like a variant of you at the school when I dropped the kid off.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see him in a while. I saw him today. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. I don't want to do this trivia stuff, but that's the only reason why.
All right.
Cheating
$75 for a couple hours working is pretty good, actually.
That is actually really good.
Pretty good.
And then just reading questions. I'd love to be a game host. That'd be awesome.
I'm too competitive to host though, because I'll be like, I want to play. I want to do this.
Dude, it cracks me up whenever I see them post the winners every week because there's like a bunch of different locations. Whenever I see them post the winners, like the other day, first place was 9 people, and then second place was 2 people, third place was 1 person. I'm like, 9 people? Really?
It's not even like worth it because you got to share.
Oh, dude, each person gets each person gets $3.
Yeah.
Can't even get a beer for that anymore.
Yeah, no, hardly seems worth it. Break that up into 2 teams.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Patch Candy here says, out of all the match types, what are the 5 hardest match types for a wrestler like for planted spots with the other people? Instead of 5, let's just say what we think our hardest match is for somebody.
So to clarify, we're not wrestlers,
No.
But we can speculate from a fan perspective.
I would think like a multi-person ladder match would be really hard. Because not only is it the planning of all the spots, but you got to deal with the intense pain of getting hit or get a move on a ladder.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think that'd be the hardest.
That would be, I could see that. Iron Man, so long.
Yeah, that's
true. I mean, I know you probably a lot of it, you just call it in the ring because there's like, a universal wrestling language where you're like, okay, let's do this sequence now. You're just talking to each other the whole time, so you just call that shit. But still, like understanding how to pace out. Oh, wow. Pizza Core Kid says Larson's back hurts from carrying this channel.
Wow.
What a fucking burn on me.
Wow.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Uncalled for. Uncalled for.
Oh, absolutely uncalled for. But maybe there's an element of truth there. I don't know, man.
There's not.
You do good work.
The opposite is true.
No, you do great work here. Let's see here. Roy Costin says, if WWE fully adopted the factions like New Japan does, what members should be... Oh, we already... Wait, did we do this in the pre-show? We did this in the pre-show. What members should be added to existing factions?
Yeah, I feel like we've done that.
Did we do it on yesterday? The show, or did we do it in the pre-show today? We did do it today. No, we did it today.
Then it must have been the pre-show.
Yeah, it was a pre-show. Because JD McDonough clearly is going to join Judgment Day.
Yeah.
We
asked you who you'd have join the OC, and you said Nakamura,
Shinsuke.
Right?
Yeah. That was today. It was today.
It was
in the
right.
pre-show.
There we go. Yeah. Alex Foster's asking, how did Von Wagner get eliminated from the Battle Royal in our heads? How did it happen?
He got distracted. Stone came to ringside with that picture of him as like, a scarred up child. And then Von Wagner just limited himself to get the, hey.
I was going to say the exact same
stop thing. It. Stop doing that.
And he's
stop
chasing
it.
Stone up the ramp while Stone's holding the picture up, but running up the ramp away from Von.
Right, exactly, yeah.
That's how it's done. Yeah.
Hey.
Cruz here says, at Night of Champions, would you have Sami pin Roman in the tag match?
No, God, no. No.
No, Solo gets pinned.
Yeah, Solo gets pinned if anything, but I'm thinking more like Solo pins. Solo needs to pin Sami to win for the Bloodline to win the titles. That would be the most devastating thing. That would be so devastating because not only does the guy who's been, talking it up with Jay, them trying to get through their relationship issues.
Yeah.
But Solo getting that win.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. Blake here asked, do you think Ali versus Gunther will be a squash or a highly competitive match reminiscent of Ali's 205 live work? I don't think it'll be a squash.
Right.
I doubt they're going to give it 15 or 20 minutes, but it's not going to be a squash. I hope it's a good opportunity for Ali to remind everybody what an extremely talented wrestler he is.
Yeah.
Gunther has no problem highlighting the skills of his opponent.
Yeah.
And he'll go in there and he'll sell his ass off. Mm-hmm. They'll both make each other look like $1 million, and it's going to be a lot of fun if they let him tell the story that they're capable of telling.
I'd like to see more of like a Brock Lesnar Ricochet thing. Just an annihilation in less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. You need to establish Gunther is on Brock's level, and I think that's how you do it. Mustafa Ali selling like crazy and just absolutely getting decimated in like 90 seconds.
All right.
I'm joking. Of course, what you're saying is the way to go. Somebody showed that somebody had that match on Twitter.
Oh, it was on Twitter, like the entire match. Yeah,
the entire thing. Yeah,
I saw that too.
It's so disheartening, but Ricochet really went overboard, like selling for it. It's pretty great.
He totally did. Sebastian here says, if you could replace any superhero in their movie with a wrestler, who would make the funniest movie?
Replace any superhero with a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh no, Bree's with me originally here. She says, agree with you, Steve. I want Gunther to dominate. Yeah, there's a case to be made there. I mean, it's Otis, and he replaces probably Captain America.
Yeah,
Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he gets the Thor hammer, and Thor's like, "I knew he was worthy."
Oh
and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah."
Half his lines are, "Oh yeah."
Elemental Giant says, how do you guys think the recent NXT call-ups have been handled? It's kind of I still think it's like a little too early
soon to tell. Yeah, too soon to tell. Alex Washington, if LA Knight wins Money in the Bank, should he cash in on Seth or AJ, or hold it a long time and cash in on the second or third potential World Heavyweight Champ? We know he's not successfully cashing in on Roman. That is correct.
Right, yeah. No,
have him take his time with it. But don't have him lose a lot while he is Mr. Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank guys should not lose.
Shouldn't be losing a bunch of
No, we should. The best is when we think, oh, this person could totally win. This person could totally be the guy. No, whoever cashes in, it's got to be on. Well, unless Cody wins it, and then he sort of says, hey, Roman, this is my road to SummerSlam or Survivors or whatever he does it at. Yeah. Let's see here. Another one. Jesus Medina or Jesus Medina says, do you think that the Judgment Day is going to interfere with the Usos interfering with Solo and Roman at Night of Champions, so that way Roman and Solo clean? Oh, is Judgment Day going to hold off the Usos from interfering?
I'd be pretty surprised.
I don't know how that's all going to play out.
I mean, you could have like 3 factions all involved in the finish of one match.
I do. Yeah, I know.
Somehow Imperium gets involved too,
Which sounds amazing, to be honest with you. I get the feeling the Usos are just going to screw up. But also, what is it? Never bet against the Bloodline.
I know. Yeah, I know.
So I kind of feel like they're probably going to win, man.
Yeah. Nikyle here says, what has been your favorite Randy Orton moment throughout his career? Oh, it's that RKO on Seth at WrestleMania the day Seth eventually won the title.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
That was incredible being there live and watching that.
That was absolutely nuts.
You drop your donuts?
Yeah, they landed with a thud. No, I dropped my phone. No, they're over there though. Curator Bell says, I'll be interviewing Congo Kong here soon for a podcast. What should I ask? What should I ask a Friendo universe? What should I ask a Friendo? I don't know what that means, but what question for Congo Kong would you have? What's your favorite donut?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And why?
And why? That's more important. Why is it your favorite?
Because
donut?
Otherwise this could just be a one-word answer, glazed. But why?
But why glazed?
Because once you learn the why, you might get to learn something about that person.
Oh, absolutely.
B-Man here says, what wrestlers would you have lead a role in a PTA, Wes Anderson, and Tarantino film based purely on their kayfabe character?
Wait, what again? Say?
A wrestler lead a movie directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson, and so 3 separate movies, and Tarantino based on their kayfabe character. 3 separate movies and up to 3 different wrestlers starring in movies directed by those individuals based on their kayfabe character.
Based on kayfabe character.
Imagine Seth Rollins in the Wes Anderson universe.
That would actually fit because of his fashion. That would totally fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. Look, whether it's in kayfabe, out of kayfabe, I would die to see Paul Thomas Anderson direct a Bruno Sammartino movie.
That'd be something else.
I think that'd be phenomenal.
That'd be great. I want to see Samoa Joe in a Tarantino movie.
Beautiful. Perfect. Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston together.
Oof.
Oh, my God.
Oof.
Oh, my God. Hey, dude, if we win the lottery or if we get that bill from SiriusXM, can we just self-finance like a $50 million Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston movie?
Let's do it.
Oh, my God.
And they'll improvise the whole script.
Oh, script.
Improvise all on set.
Right. We don't know a script. What location you want today? All right, call our line producer. Get some permits for that. What's Sacramento? We don't need permits. We don't need permits here in Sacramento.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Yeah. Go film at the bridge, the big bridge thing there.
Oh, yeah, Tower Bridge.
Yeah, the Tower Bridge. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Boy, Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston in a Quentin Tarantino movie. Holy crap.
Top notch.
Oh my God. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Check out whatever. I might put up an end card, so put up some videos right there. Check out those videos. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, talk to you later.
Bye.